Everybody, welcome back to Benton. My plan for today is to finish the Peninsula start and really get the southeast corner and the northwest corner squared away with some interesting things I have planned in store, and maybe our first bridges to other areas. Maybe. There's a chance. I'm not sure yet. I haven't done it, but we'll see what happens. Everyone, thank you for being here. I'm Yumble. Let's build Benton. I would like to start with a bit of housekeeping and talk about the park that we ended the last episode with. I'd like to update the name to the Rock Garden. I do like that it says garden, so we're keeping the garden, the auto-generated name of the park. But this is the Rock Garden, and this is Dwayne of the Rock Garden. So that's figured out. We're also going to end up redoing this whole thing at some point. I don't know if I'll redo it right away. Maybe I will. We'll think on it. Also, Little House, overwhelmingly. Hello. Wait. Oh, okay, there you are. I thought that was... I was going to say, Little House got a massive upgrade. This is definitely Little House. I'm going to make it historical, as it is virtually the only landmark that we really care about, other than the Rock. That building is very important to many, so may it live on forever. I'd really like to just take a moment and get this fixed. Sorry. I don't like the placement of any of this, and I can't delete that for some reason. Very strange stuff. Very, very, very strange. Okay. I'm just going to get rid of all these entrances in favor of looking at the park a little differently and just kind of building it in a way that makes sense. I left this, like, I looked at it when I was done recording last time and I was like, oh man, that could be so much better. It could look so much nicer. And I think that I want to make something that's going to complement this area as well. I have special plans for the bottom right area. I'm thinking historic district for this, the southeast corner. I'm thinking something historic. I'm thinking something with some older buildings. I think it'll look good. The fastest way to get rid of these trees is going to be like this, because the old trees are not really relevant for what's about to happen. Looks good to me. Sorry, everyone who was walking in the park, but I think the entrance would better serve us in the more northeastern corner. I think that this little road here or this little road here would be a really nice origin point for the park path. So let's go to our parks. It's going to be a city park. Let's do the full main gate. And I'm not sure, one of these two sides. This one looks like it's lending itself more to it. Or it could be up in the center. Nah, I'm really liking this corner. I don't know why it's not going to let me place it there. I'm going to anarchy that in and see how it looks. Nah, facing the other way is better. Some of you will also notice that our financial situation is wonderful. We have 2 million simoleons in the bank. Plenty of fun money. This incline is absolutely devastating to my plans. Let's pretend it doesn't look like that, and I'll figure it out later. Now, perhaps there's a few other side entrances. I always think the parks are in the path thing for some reason. All right, park side gate. Welcome to the Rock Garden. It's reset the stars, but I don't really care. It's okay. I like here on the rock side. An entrance down this away would be pretty cool. Which one's the best? It would be really cool if I could have it diagonal towards the corner, and I can. So let's do that instead. Like, that would be nice, because this is going to be a bridge, and people can come over the bridge and then immediately see this little gate. Not the main gate, but a side gate, and that's okay. That seems realistic to me. I'd like to do the same thing over here, actually, now that we're using Move It on everything. Looks good to me. And then maybe another entrance up on one of these roads, like at the terminus of this road. Yeah, so that you get a view. If you look down this, you would see a gate at the end. Probably not from back here, but by the time you hit the high-density neighborhood, you'd be able to see the park gate as a destination, so I like that. There are no bonus points in the game for thinking in such a way, but I like to imagine. It was also suggested that I use the, there are like invisible park gates and things, but I really want this to like look vanilla is the thing. I want it to look like anyone could do it on any system. Not the diagonals, but like, you know, the assets and things like that. Park path with decorations. So let's do, last time I was not using the park path with decorations. I was using the other one. What does this look like? Yeah, we're going to swap these trees out. Guess what we're going to use? Guess which tree? I've been talking about one tree this entire... One tree has my heart and soul. Here, let me show you how it works. You make a path, you open up Bob, click it, swap out the trees. Sugar maple? Yeah, right. It's my guy, Young Linden. Get in here, Young Linden. You can see I've already used it everywhere else, so... The soil here is of perfect composition for young linden to thrive. And so they do. Look at them, the grove. These trees are eternally young. It is kind of funny that there's this tree of the same height and same makeup all over the city. But that's okay. So this probably goes right to the point there, and those cross. I'm cool with that. That looks alright to me. They also probably meander around the rock, I can safely assume. So perhaps we do like a... I really don't want to destroy the rock. I'm going to turn off collision. Yeah, I'm turning off collision. I'm going to turn off anarchy too. I generally like to know when I'm about to use the anarchy. But here, let's go around the rock. Around Dwayne, if you will. Respectfully. Yeah, we're just going to go around it and put some benches. Put some benches on the way, and people can... It's a good photo op. It's a real nice photo op in the city, if you're into that kind of thing. Right there. Uh-huh. Oh, this is kind of cool. It actually almost mimics the shape of the park. A lot of people said they wanted it to be called Home Plate Park, which is fair. You're not wrong. I didn't go for it, but that's okay. Cool. I almost want to curve this end piece here. And this doesn't, like, matter. Doesn't really matter, but it's okay. I want to make this happen. With anarchy, I suppose. 2 units on the nose. Nope, 2 units, aka 17 meters. I'd like this as close to 45 as is reasonable. Yeah, that looks good to me. So we'll do that. Use move it to curve this. This path probably connects directly here, would be my next guess. So let's do it. Yeah, it's virtually straight on. Yikes. Not close enough. But that's okay. I'm the one who made that angle. That angle can change. I might leave that as is. Nice. So this logically would connect to the rest of the park, and then maybe we have some meandering bits that happen as well. But this is just the straight and narrow type path. Curve. Here, let's use Network Multi-Tool, actually. I'm just going to make a little, like, 2-unit end piece. And I don't know that I've ever used Network Multi-Tool on a path before, so this might be interesting. Oh, yeah. Boom. The perfect S-curve doesn't exist. Yes, it does. Awesome. The Rock Garden. They love it already. The people. The People's Park, if you will. Rock bottom. How well does the dirt path or the gravel path integrate with this one? If it destroys it, I'm not going to use it, but... Looks pretty bad. Does the regular path look any better? No? Okay. Well, I'm just going to use the park path then. Or maybe there's a non-tree-lined section of park path. Nah, let's just do tree-lined. No. Yeah, let's do this. So this can branch off here and kind of meander away, as you do at the park. And then maybe it reconnects as kind of a branch from this one. And then this probably also gets connected, I suppose. There we go. I think that looks much better. It doesn't have the same trees, so let's replace the trees and do some stuff with it. Horse chestnut is really nice. All these asset creator pack trees are very, very beautiful. Mr. Miyagi knocked it out of the... well, you know. I'm going to turn down the brush strength so I don't place a bunch of unnecessary trees. I think that looks great. It's really good. So maybe there's a bit of a grove of trees there. Maybe there's some trees where this one connects at the benches, just because it's nice. And maybe there's a few trees over here. Not bad. Is there another type of tree? The pink tree, yeah, the jacaranda. I truly don't know how to... I'm ill-prepared. I didn't look up how to pronounce every tree. Make a nice little spot there. Near the entrance, they would love some trees, no doubt. And I love covering up that awkward flex in the ground. Now it's virtually gone. Now you basically can't see it anymore. Jacaranda. Marking this entrance as well. And over here would make sense. Nice. That's cool. And it leaves a bunch of green space if people want to use the green space for other things, you know. Frisbee, kicking the ball around, whatever. That works for me. I'm just going to get a save on this, and we will start working on other parts. So once again, I've neglected the power, the transfer of power to the far entrances. What I'd like to do is actually go in and just add some of the features from Park Life. Not so much the big major ones. I'd like to do, like, let's see. Restrooms would make sense. But let's see if I can get it close enough to transfer power from one thing to another. So, restrooms by the rock. Does that transfer power? It does, okay. So we're on the right track. I can do a couple more features along the way, and that'll get the power to the end. Don't need that open. What is this? The cafe. Naturally, the cafe. Cafe Dwayne. Does that transfer? It must. It does, okay. 1 or 2 more buildings will get us there. That's the restrooms again. Is there another just regular looking building that I can use? I don't want to commit to any of the major... Like, the plaza's okay, but I don't want to take up all the green space, right? If this gets us there, then I'll do it. Oh, it totally does. Okay, consider it done. The plaza's in. I was skeptical about the plaza, but now I'm into it. I want the corner to be just about touching there. That's fine. That's fine. Cool. Those features will also help the Park Life Park level up over time. We should see that disappear in just a moment. Oh, please. Come on. Yay, we got it. Okay, good. Very good. I think that's a better representation of what's going on in the city. So now we get to look at the southeast corner and really figure some stuff out. There's a few buildings that I've been poking around at. And the one I'm going to start with is going to be the, whatever this is. I've unlocked these. I've taken the liberty of using Find It to unlock the unique buildings. The Modern Art Museum fits perfectly right here, I've noticed. And also the noise radius is such that it only goes to the edge of this plaza. The noise radius is not going to affect anything. So I think that's a beautiful opener for this passage here. I'm really going to have to ignore the fact that the slope is so... Oh my god. Let's see if we can't, like, adjust this a little so it doesn't look so aggressively bad. At the very least, it should be flat on the right side-ish. This side, there's going to be a bit of a chasm. No, that's just the foundation. It's not a chasm, it's art. It's an art museum. The parking lot is artistic, it's art. Hey, if you don't get it, you don't get it. It's art, okay? So I think that's a real nice start, especially when we view it from, like, this distance, which is generally where I'm going to be viewing this city. This is not an overly detailed place. But I think that's really cool. As far as what goes behind that, I'm not sure yet. But I would also like to do government buildings, possibly a stadium. But let's see, my government, this one. The Oppression Office. This is where I live. I get to live here. I would almost like to take, like, this block and use this as the Oppression Office. Or maybe traffic drives behind it on this road. Let's see what we can do with this. I'm going to start by just plopping it in the middle there. And we're going to use our suburban road. I haven't talked about it enough. The suburban street is by A Parish 540. Really great network. Really, really great road. Oh, I've lost my... There it is. For some reason, precision engineering has been acting out lately. So that's 42, 21. I might go left by 1 unit because this is 39. Yeah, so let's split the difference. 20 and 19. Yeah, just 1 unit to the left is what I'm going to consider center for this one. Let's make it so that we have enough space to zone roads opposite this. So here's what we'll do. I'll draw that in. And let's see what kind of space that gives us. I might recenter that with move it. But does that give me space to zone along this? Yeah, I might do commercial along behind it, potentially. But this will just be nice to break up the city, and we may do something similar on these other more central pieces that are facing this waterway, which might have been important to the city at one point. I'm sure it was, in fact. It's my history. I get to make up whatever I want, and it was important. I said so. All right. So I'm just looking at the stairs, and I want this to kind of line up with the trees and with the opening there, and that looks pretty good to me. I like that. Capitol building, museum. Now here's the next question. Is this going to go around? Does this road go around the building? Maybe it does. Maybe it does. Ooh, that might not leave enough space for the amount of commercial that I want behind it. Or maybe it's totally fine and I should just go with it. Let's see how it looks. That's not bad. Kind of lumpy looking, but that's all right. Things look lumpy sometimes. Let's reduce this by 1. Yeah, I don't love what that's doing to the zoning squares. So let's actually... What's the value here? 19, so I'm actually going to go 18 units with that. Road guidelines. 18 units would be perfect. My measurements were off before. 6 units up. Or 6 units over, rather, is good. The road guidelines are going to trip me up the whole time, if I let them. Oh, was that not enough? Okay, 17 units it is. Oh, I never moved the building. Let's just do 17 units to be safe. It'll be slightly more centered around everything. That's cool. 6 units. 6 units, and we'll snug this up with this again. Just about there. good to me. We'll encircle it with this network for reasons, just because. And this time I'm going to use zoning adjuster to remove the zoning there. Really handy mod, zoning adjuster. Would recommend. But that leaves enough space for a bit of commercial behind this if we want to include some shopping. I'm also going to do probably roads out to the sides here. Or maybe here. Well, let's mess with it. Let's experiment and see what happens. This makes the most sense to me, I think. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. I can live with that. That gives us 2 nice squares here. Logically, this would continue down, and maybe there's something opposing this building all the way down. Or maybe these 2 networks... Oh, look at this. The wheels are turning. The original plan is getting thrown out the window in favor of something a little better, actually. Yeah. Let's do that. And then these crossroads will probably turn out to be pedestrian paths. Not so much this one, but I could foresee this being a pedestrian path instead, and probably that being a pedestrian path. And let's just continue down, because clearly this is where this is going. And that leaves an open center. I like that. And then we can have something opposing this building on the other side. Beautiful. 12 units, so 6 units in. And this will go in the middle. Whatever happens here, something needs to happen here. What do we have? We have the Grand Library. Oh god, it's really big. Grand Library wouldn't be bad because it kind of matches this building, but is that what we want? The Opera House wouldn't be too bad. Is there something that's totally appropriate to be facing this? Could it be a monument of some sort? Forgive my lack of knowledge of the built-in unique buildings. I don't want any of those. That's like a casino. There's a tax office building, or the courthouse might be okay too. Academic library, my god. That looks really nice. Is that not a education thing? I think aesthetically, I've already unlocked these things, so aesthetically I think this is the way to go. So I'm going to get rid of that central road. Academic library, very impressive. Lines up perfectly with the whole arrangement, so you can look back and forth in the middle, and it's honestly, very DC looking move. If this were the Washington Monument instead. And that's very Capitol building looking. But I will say DC was well designed. I must admit, in my opinion. All right, let's get some paths in and kind of see how this shapes up. Now, supposing we use the park life paths with the Young Lindens, because I am such a huge fan of the raps and rhymes of Young Linden. I bought his new EP. Something like that. That's pretty cool. These probably also go out to the sides. Yeah, provided that they can still walk to this road, I think that's really great. Yikes. I'm going to try not to cheat except where I need to cheat. So now these obviously would be connected with pedestrian paths. That seems like a given to me. That no cars would be allowed to traverse this, but we'll let people walk across this and enjoy the park. Is there a central path that they get to walk down? I don't see why not, personally. I'm just going to ignore how wild the terrain is. We're just going to have to suspend our disbelief on this one. Cool. So that gives us a nice looking building on the road here. Is there any reason to get this off the road? Maybe move it back a little bit. Ooh. Maybe move it back a lot, actually. Maybe we move it back all the way. Nah, never mind. Put it back where it was. Something else could go along behind this. Not sure exactly what. This is probably okay for housing. Some parts of this might be okay for housing. I just wish I had housing that looked like it belonged in this area. Because like the default zoned in buildings, it makes like condos and stuff, and that's not going to look quite right. But I'm not opposed to housing in general in this section of the city. Let's continue and see if there's other parks, plazas, buildings, unique buildings, anything like this. It could also be like a college campus. A college campus would be pretty reasonable. I might use the campus as oh, the courthouse. Ooh. Variation on a theme. As I was saying, another area might be great for the campus, because the campus does have buildings that look a lot like this and a lot like this. Very maybe neoclassical might be the term. I could also be wrong. I'm not an anything really. I'm not an authority of any sort. That looks okay to me to balance this whole situation. We can add paths to the edges of it and all that. Ooh, okay. Okay, okay. Feeling it. I'm going to center this a little bit better. Once again, we're going to have to ignore the land. I'm not interested in flattening this whole thing out to make it work. Or am I? Or am I? Now that I've said it, it's kind of like, yeah, I might as well flatten it out. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use move it to eliminate all of the things that I've just added because it has an undo feature. So we're going to select all of those and all of this the whole way back, including these little nodes on the end. Yep. Little house meet little node. Little did he node. And then there's probably a center node on each of these. Yep. I see you. I see you. And I'm going to hit delete. I'm going to bulldoze it so that I can sort of flatten out this area to make it not as ridiculous. Because right now it's slightly ridiculous. So let's go in. Just make it so the difference isn't so apparent. Like even this, I'd like to lower that. I might be able to in a moment here. There we go. So now this is all relatively flat. Not perfectly flat, but relatively. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm going to use move it and hit undo, which puts the whole thing back, and then I'm actually going to say move them to terrain height, which will then flatten them out. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Without even having done very much, it looks a lot better. This got a little wilder, but that's because this main road is still rather lumpy, but that's okay. That's okay. That's character. But this looks a lot better. This building here is on relatively flat ground, so is this one. Better than it was. I'll take it. Cool. Let's keep figuring out some other features to go along the sides here. Tax office. Why would we not use the tax office? Any sort of like museum or something, you know, that type of energy is what I'm really looking for. What happens if this one faces the other way too? I'm just, oh. Now that looks okay, because I do want this main central spot to be the jam. I want the center. And I want the onlookers who are on this main road to go, oh, hey, that looks pretty cool. Looking real Benton in there. So they'll be attracted to the mall of sorts. Very nice. Very, very nice, actually. Let's add in a couple paths. Keep filling the space. Keep using the area. This one will send it right back. Anarchy. Same deal here. Just use the grid and send this right back to the end. Possibly a path behind it, similar to this. Well, now, do I need a road encircling this? No. No, I really don't. So, but that's why we're here. We're here to learn these truths. figure these things out. Yep, let's use the grid. And we'll use the grid here. I hope this comes out good. I've got good feelings about it so far, but hope you guys like it too. It looks good. And then across the back here, all the way to the road. You'll do the same because it's what you do. Everybody's doing it. That's the peer pressure path. Felt inclined to do it because this side did it too, even though it's not really necessary. That looks very nice, actually. Very, very good. I might subdivide these larger ones using a path. Let's see, what's the width here, give or take? 24, 12, that looks pretty good. 1296, 1296, yep, looks good. So we'll cut that one in half without the use of a road because there's already a ton of connections here on the mall. If I may call it the mall. Cool. Whereas these look good for other buildings. These looked a bit too wide. But I can delete that. If there is a large building we want to fit there, then so be it. Alright, tax office. Tax office. Does it center well here? Can I center it well here? I suppose I can. There we go. Got to get some bureaucracy in here. Ooh, thank you, thank you. That one looks like a town hall, and that one looks like a capitol. But that's okay. We stay the course. Official park. Something like that would be cool ending one of these, like on the end or near the middle or something. We could do like one of the parks. Big Ben. We love Big Ben. The Opera House. Okay. Almost. Almost. Opera House would be great on the water, but I don't think it's more impressive than that building. Opera House can go somewhere else. We're going to need big features elsewhere, too. The Grand Library. Oh, there it is. That's the spot. That's the spot. I see it. Just center it a little bit better, as you do. Cherry Blossom Festival is in full swing here in Benton. Certainly not DC. Not DC at all, just Benton. This center path is almost irking me. I might do 2 side paths or get rid of the paths entirely. I don't know. I'm having fun though. Either way, this is a good little exercise in unique buildings. I might just try to leave a lot of it open. Rather than filling the space and making it feel dense like the rest of the city, I might just try to... Oh, the Theater of Wonders. I might use this as an opportunity to let the space breathe a little bit better, possibly. So this side is too shallow to fit the Theater of Wonders. Is this even a good-looking thing? It kind of is. You know, I don't know that I've ever used this in a city, but it actually looks pretty good. The grass, not so much, but the rest of it, the architecture is nice. There's something off about the balance here. It's either going to be adding or subtracting that fixes it, and I'm not sure which one just yet. I've just about used all the buildings that I want to for this area. Oh, the Opera House. Opera House wouldn't be bad here, honestly. Or here, perhaps. Yes, I agree with myself. It's weird to say it, but don't, tell me I'm wrong. You can disagree with yourself. You can say something you don't agree with. Well, we'll fight the battle that will fix the terrain later. But for now, I think that's pretty good. Oh, they get in. The stairs are over here. I guess that's supposed to be stairs. Really, I think it's designed in such a way that people can't get in, but it's really nice to look at from the outside. No, that's almost certainly supposed to be the stairs. Can I move this off of that a little ways? Yeah. Center it. Or even center it between these two nodes. Let's see if this works. Line up objects. Does it still have road connectivity? It does. That looks good. Can I lower it into the ground so that it doesn't look like it's flying? Oh, that actually kind of fixes the ground next to it too. That's fine. And this one we're going to do something similar. And this might complete the building phase of this. Perhaps we line it up between... I'm going to create a node here so that we have a good platform with which to line this up. This may actually throw the building into the road, but it'll give me an idea of where the center is this way. Oh, perfect. I'm going to leave it right there. That is centered on those two nodes that were across from one another. And that looks really great. The cultural center of this part of the city. Currently, our industry is failing because we are not... I've been working on these parks and not growing the population. But that's okay, it's just a game. So let's finish the park, but then I'm going to figure out that northwest corner... Oh, God. Figure out that northwest corner situation and... Ooh, interesting. Once again, it thinks that these are buildings for some reason. Yeah, my this is having issues. My bulldozer. That's weird. I'm gonna have to rely on node control, or excuse me, move it, I guess, to delete trees. But that's not gonna stop me from placing a few. The trees from the map are really, really great, and I think that it would be nice to integrate the map trees into the build a little bit more. This building happened to have a few of these. I think it's generic pine. Yeah, generic pine is good. I'm just going to go around back here and kind of make it feel a bit more complete overall. Make it a nicer place to walk. Like, yeah, I guess you could play here. You could play Frisbee or whatever, but really this is about walking around and respecting Benton. That's what this area is. Walk past our opera house and respect the Bentonians and the Bentonian journey. Something like that. I would make a joke about sprucing the place up, but these are pine trees. Would not be appropriate. And then like two in the middle over here. Yeah, something like that. I'm just going to add a bit of pine to the whole place. And it does change the atmosphere significantly. Changes the aerial view is totally different once these are in place. A couple in the middle. And of course, young Linden, ever present. I might leave the center... here, let's actually just do trees near the entrances and corners, maybe. So, like, the corners of the street here. Entrances. I'll leave the center open for the view. Corners. And maybe, like, one in the middle on each of these. I don't want it to be too busy. I want it to feel very open and like you could see across the entire place. Very nice. Same idea over here, just a couple of these. I might have to do this to Dwayne Park as well, because this place is going to have its own look now that's separate from this. In order to, like, bridge the two areas, it would definitely be smart to, like... I'm saying like a lot, but that's because I'm not sure what's about to happen. My uncertainty betrays me. just along the edges, just to give it an accent of the area next to it. Same here, behind the building. They don't have to be too even or too symmetrical or anything like that either, because that's just how the trees grew in. That's just how it is. The next thing I really have to do is figure out our high density situation. I do think that we need a high density population boost up in this corner to save the industrial area. There's no industrial demand, and that's because everyone is actually... Oh, you know what? I turned on the... I don't know if I did this on video last time or not, but I turned on the schools out policy. Wait. The opposite one. The school... Everyone go to school policy. And that's actually probably what's causing this. I think I have a workforce kind of bubble going on right now. Cool. That actually helps immensely. This looks like a place I'd like to hang out now. That looks really good. Have a picnic, hang out, you know, enjoy the whatever, the festivities. Maybe just a couple more trees over here. But really, that's much nicer than it was. And just those few trees kind of unify this area with this one over here, while keeping it distinct as well. Yeah. So the population is still growing, but we're going to need to grow it a lot more. I'm going to consider this area done for now. I'll think on it, but let's look up at this northwest area for a moment. My suspicion was actually correct. I do have education boost turned on. I forget what I called it. Go to school policy. I'm actually going to deactivate that right now. And concurrently, let's make sure that we actually do have an enormous uneducated populace, but they're probably going through the school system largely. Not that many highly educated, but I think that we will see a positive shift in our... Yeah, building just leveled up. I think that we will see these, at the very least, stop being abandoned. Hopefully. Regardless, though, I want to beef up our population a little bit. We'll add a couple more thousand people in a moment. A couple thousand more people in a moment. But also, we're going to have to keep an eye on the schools as, like, case in point. Elementary school availability is right on the edge. We could also use coverage down here, potentially. The high school roadmap is somewhat similar. The availability is concentrated here, so another one down here by this high-density development would make a ton of sense. So let's actually... The high school availability is more pressing. Right at the end of this road here. Those buildings just leveled up, but it's okay. It's worth it. It's for your education. Get good and smart. Nice. I'm going to leave a little big house available there. Little quadrant. But yeah, that'll be nice for that area, and probably an elementary school down here in the bottom, in the southwest corner as well. Yeah, everything else is pretty juiced up with elementary, but this one would probably love a local elementary school. So let's actually put it on the edge of the park, and we will remove a couple houses to get it done. I would declare that to be well worth it. Yeah, that's cool. Let's even move it to the corner and call that good. Yeah, we'll let a house grow in there. There's the high school. Okay, so I'm going to consider that to be sorted out. We do also have a major traffic problem that keeps happening. I haven't highlighted it, but this intersection, I keep drawing a circle there because a roundabout would actually solve it for now. I don't know. It's going to be a question of roundabout or traffic light. What are the pros? What are the cons? What's going on? I don't know yet. I'm going to use this classic suburban street that I've been using to just create some... I want to create more zonability in this area, and a nice way to do it may actually turn out to be cul-de-sacs. Probably. basically that angle right there, but without destroying those buildings. So I want to grab that angle, right? 9 units, 10 units, that's fine. It's as centered as it needs to be. We'll just go to the edge there, and then we'll actually trim this road right about here, with an option to add paths later. But that gives us a starting point, and it gives us much more zoning. The city is very dense so far, but cities are dense. It's not that improbable. It's not that unlikely, in my opinion. I want to see where the node is here. I don't want to change the position of that node, but I want to go up to about the center here, factoring in the left side that we're about to cross. So that's probably about the center for the whole thing overall. We'll make that up. That is fine. Maybe I'll extend this a little ways. Nice. And then this one, same idea. Oh. Maybe I'll use this instead. And it would be really nice to allow walkability out of this area, as I often try to do. That's fine. Let's go through with a couple paths. Regular path, perhaps. Cool, that'll get us out of the area. Same idea over here. Then out this way, too. This one can go straight to the end. Same over here. Just whatever gets us out of this spot. And that's all going to be buried in buildings. So I'm not too stressed about exactly where the origin of the path is. There we go. Walkability all around. That'll let us out nicely on all sides. Yeah, I think that's good. It would make sense to do that. I don't know what's better, going to the end or going up and down. Maybe both. Maybe all of those connections are valid. But this gives us a good connection to this area, so I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, this would be good to do too. Here, let's... I thought I did this one, actually. Ooh, sneaky, sneaky. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. So this does leave a couple gaps, but that's okay. We are also very, very, very close to our toxic rain cloud that is just seeping into the earth here. So this is... It's kind of bad. Like, what I'm doing is kind of bad. You can see the health situation of these poor folks here that I decided to put directly next to industry. Like, this is... that's commercial. This is industry. They live across the street from industry, which in real life is somewhat doable. You kind of can. I know I've been to places where the housing stops right next to the steel mill, that type of thing, or downtowns that are right on the edge of industrial areas. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. But I will say that's pretty bad right there. That's kind of, as the kids would say, it might be a bit sus. I wouldn't say that. I don't know what that means, but I do know that, oof. I do know that it's not very good. Let's get out of this. Let's get out of Dodge. Just throw commercial in and not poison the people that live on the corner here. Those couple of houses. And we really don't have any industrial demand, though I also suspect that has to do with the policy I had implemented. Yeah, okay, let's do it. I'm going to start with the safe side. I know that this side is going to work out pretty okay. So let's just zone this in and see what effect it has. Oh, I should probably figure out what this road network is doing too. This probably turns left into this area. I don't know exactly what the future holds for this area, but this almost certainly goes around. I was considering putting another interchange here. I don't know yet if that's going to happen or not. But what we can do... Oh, I don't own this tile yet. Never mind, forget that. I'm not going to... I don't own the tile yet. I'm not going to buy it today. That's a lot of work. That works for me. I'm just going to let the grid break. This might actually be great for additional zoning along here. Yeah, let's do it. Grow the pop. Grow the pop. Grow the city. Grow the population. Let's do it. Oh, you know what it is? It's because this guy, this little dirty guy. Let's get rid of little dirty guy. And let's see how that affects the electricity. Okay, that did put a notable dip in it, but let's be real. 199 out of 317. I can probably also afford to get rid of our other power plant. Wait. Was Little Dirty Guy a power plant or an incinerator? The incinerator's there. That's an incinerator, yeah. So that must have been a power plant. I saw the electricity dip. Because this is Little Dirty Guy too. Yep, I put them on the same block. So I'm going to get rid of both Little Dirty Guys. I wish there was a better name for them, but unfortunately there simply is not. While I'm thinking of it too, I'm just going to throw some trees back in here. Maybe even a path. Maybe even a nice little pathway to get these folks up into this area would make a lot of sense. I'm just going to let this grow in at 1 speed and really hope that this area rebuilds effectively. Yeah, our electricity is fine. I can also turn up the electricity as needed. So I'm not going to sweat it. Not right now, at least. Snapping is kind of working against me here. I'm going to turn off all the snapping and just loosely make this happen. Yeah, that looks a little nicer. Better use of the space. Like over here, similar idea. Just get a path behind the buildings. Let people go up here if they want to. Nothing perfect about it. Snapping is off. This building. It's worth it. It's worth it for the walkability. Okay, I'm going to turn snapping back on. We're getting out of control. Starting almost at the center there, connect to that side. Yeah. Good enough is good enough. Back to the trees. Fill this in with some trees. Just to make it look a little bit nicer. Act a little bit more like a park. Use the space a little better. You guys get some too. Like all the connected backyards get to have a nice space behind them. Yeah, it adds. It adds a little. Cool. So this is growing in right now. I'm going to go 3 speed and just see how it goes. Our industrial demand has gone up a little bit, but this appears saved. I think that turning off the education policy... Oh, God. We can talk about this in a second, but I think turning off the education policy that was sending everyone to school was crashing the admittedly small amount of industry that we're doing. Proportionate to the rest of everything, I would say that's a small pocket of industry relative to how much land we're using. So the traffic thing that we have here, I would declare that this is a kind of a transient traffic issue as opposed to a chronic traffic issue. I could be totally wrong in this, and I'm going to kind of time lapse for a second, or I'm going to probably just skip ahead and see the result of this. But this is all the traffic moving into this area because they can only move in by car. Currently, I haven't unlocked or I haven't used at least, I don't remember if I got the bus terminal yet, but a bus terminal would be really smart. A lot of people hate on buses, but if you can get an external bus connection into your city, each of these vehicles holds one person. They're going to the playground, one person. Carol is going to the Grand Library. That's great. One person per vehicle. Terrible. The delivery trucks are necessary right now, but the vehicles are not. if we decided to implement a bus, external bus connection, that would actually decimate this whole thing. At 60 people per bus, that is 60 cars that are not in traffic, and this is like 60 cars. Just this section here is probably about 60 cars. If that all disappeared, this entire backup goes away. I'm going to let this kind of play out for a little bit and check back in maybe 5 minutes. And if it's still not fixed, I'm going to add a bus terminal. So here's something kind of cool and a bit serendipitous overall. Grand City, 15,000 population. Guess what we unlock? I assumed I already had it, but Intercity bus terminal, Metro bus hub. I think I had the smaller version of this, though the larger one, yeah, the larger alternative. For this area, a larger one might be in order. But yeah, that's fantastic. That's the one that I'd probably use. While I'm thinking about it, let's check in on the traffic. It's still about what it was. It's backing up further, but I don't think it's permanent though. I really think it's just the influx. We just zoned an insane amount of, not an insane amount, but a very large amount of high density residential. So it's to be expected that there's an influx of people, especially when there's no other inlet. If there were a train station in the middle of the city, you better believe there would be like 240 people per train coming in, filling this up, walking there rather than driving. But yeah, I still theorize that this will go down. Let's, as I wallow in my theories, in my theories that are not turning out to be true necessarily, I'm gonna do commercial along here. Maybe high density. We'll do little pockets of high density up the way here. Just so they, the noise pollution might be too much for this area, but I'll also supply medical for the whole thing too. And just to really make things awful, I'm going to finish the zoning and really complete this picture that is the backup of the century. That's dramatic. It's not the backup of the century, but it's certainly backing up onto the other highway network. This is the wonkiest wonkiest cloverleaf in the world, potentially. But yeah. So now that we've zoned that in and we're going to get even more traffic, I'm going to let the traffic really mount and then possibly add the bus terminal. Let's just do it. Let's just add the darn bus terminal, shall we? May I? It's not going to stop these cars, but it may stop the future vehicles that are going to be moving in there from doing that. So let's go with there's the Intercity bus station. Great use of space. This is good. Intercity bus station, Intercity bus terminal. Both are looking really, really strong here. Let me see the real difference. I think it's just size. Bus station uses coaches, requires a highway connection, doesn't require bus lines or stops. Yep, that's true. But allows the placement of regular bus stops in the bays. Cool. Intercity bus terminal is a larger alternative. It uses coaches. That's the same. So it's basically the same thing, but size. So maybe I'll just do the small one in that case. Seems about right to me. Let's turn collision back on and just let it destroy the buildings that it will. But I think this will give us enough. Give us enough mojo. Cool. I'll let that side zone back in. This side, I'd like to make some sort of walkable scene here. So let's make that happen just for fun. Yep. Yep. And we'll make this happen. This is just gonna happen. I've decided. It has been decreed. This is what's happening. And there it is. You can walk right on through. Maybe we'll extend the same courtesy to this side. So I'm going to probably destroy this business to get this done, but it's kind of worth it. Yeah, we'll do that. Just let it ride. I'm not sure how long it'll take before buses actually start arriving. Like it usually takes a few minutes for vehicles to path, and also for the employees that will work in this building, because it does employ people. I think the employees actually have to show up before buses manage to path to it. But yeah, let's give that some time. Keep in mind, we've just zoned in this massive commercial and residential area next to our situation here next to the industrial area. So it is going to take a bit of time to pass this, but I think that the bus station is actually going to help a lot. Take this amount of traffic and divide all of the consumer vehicles by 60. Divide them all. Put 60 people on a bus and the traffic goes away. That's the math that I'm operating under. Let's throw some trees in the back of this. A couple trees back here. Just so it's not so stark. Yeah, blends in with the rest of this area. Looking very nice. This would be a great spot for a statue while we're letting the traffic simmer down. I'm not going to opt for a roundabout or a light until I'm sure that this is like chronic traffic issue. If it could be a park, that would be very, very cool. It could always be this guy. This is a horse guy. Just horsing around. Let's just do horse guy and call it a day. Vanilla park. That's how it is. With this type of thing, we could opt to use... I'm just going to turn off all snapping and use the normal path and just kind of show you how that might end up looking. So normal path goes around the scene here. And then one more from this side. Ooh, almost. So close yet so far. Now I can't quite see what's going on in there, but move it is gonna help us sort this out. It's actually probably not that bad in reality. Like a slight turn there. I can also see exactly what's going on if I just select the whole thing. Yeah, it's not bad. It adds a couple lights. Park benches and trees would also make sense. So let's pick some slightly more unique trees. Let's do these tall boys. No. Horse chestnut. Nah, young linden. Oh, but I don't know if I have access to planters right now, do I? I usually play with these great planters. I don't suppose I have them. So trees are not an option in its current state. I'll think of solutions for that, but it would be really nice to have trees in this area. Or unpaint it with surface painter. Oh god, put it back. Repaint it. Repaint it quick. It's too gross. Look away. All right, I'll figure that out later. Let's look at the traffic. No trickery going on. No cuts, no butts, no coconuts. This is doing a lot better. Is it because of the buses? Nope, that one's going away. Oh, this one's coming in though. Nope, it sure isn't. It's because of the lane math is actually part of it. I'm surprised no one's called me out on this yet. All we have to do to fix the lane math. I built this with all default highway networks. This one, of course, is a network extension, or excuse me, mass transit. A gift from the mass transit collection. But it'll automatically organize things so that the vehicles that need to go through will pick the 2 left lanes, and the vehicles that need to turn right will get in line to do so. But it keeps the traffic separate. It keeps the... See, you can see they're getting out of line. It seems to be going away. I don't know how much of it has to do with the rush for this area being completed, or if there's buses coming in. Oh, both. Oh, God, yeah. I'm going to say it's the buses. I'm going to... Ready? Let's take a head count. 60 people. 60 people. 60 people. 18... Okay, well, maybe it gets less impressive. 60 again. 60. Each of those people on those buses would have been cars otherwise. So you can hate on buses all you want, and you can say other stuff is better, but for a growing city of this size with no train track coming through it, of course we could decide to do that, but I kind of like how this is. Buses are a great option. 60 people. They all would have been cars otherwise. This is still a problem, but that's going to be a problem till this goes away. Yeah, I'm going to declare that the buses fixed it. Maybe this is at the tail end of people moving in, but they're still leveling up. But I think the buses were the real solution to that problem on this occasion. So I've got two things that are really worth solving right now. One is trash sickness. This is probably just going to go away. I'm probably going to end up getting rid of the whole trash system has been terrible from the get-go. So I'll end up fixing that on a more permanent basis later. But this area does need a hospital right now. So I am going to... probably this corner right here. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just do that. And that actually opens up a space for this path, which I will use gladly. So the goal of this one is to help solve the medical crisis of people living next to industry. Maybe eventually the industry will go away, but for now the city really needs it. So that is meant to serve this area, which will free up the other two to do other things, hopefully. Or they can go cross town or whatever. But that brings in my next set of issues. This one I think is less of a problem. I think this mainly has to do with the buses coming and going. If I have to fix that, I will. But I'm looking primarily at these two intersections. Overall, it's not terrible. Like, it's 86% is not, like, the end of the world. But this is still a fairly small city to have a high number like that. Yeah, you can see this is already kind of... it's fine. Mainly, it's these two intersections. So I'm going to end up doing three things. I'm going to do a small series of things. Welcome to the traffic fixing portion of this presentation. What I'd like to do initially is actually eliminate that left turn and also this one. So we're going to let traffic go straight through or straight and right. Maybe the same on this side, straight through or straight and right. Yeah, that's good. No left turn. I've already eliminated the left turn out of these spaces, so the traffic can turn right. So what this amounts to is essentially a solid median. I'm going to take a quick second and sketch that in. I don't know how detailed I'll go with this here. Well, actually, it really shouldn't take that much effort. So there is simply no left turn happening there. I'm going to use grass. And we're gonna let's see. Oh, curb size. Yeah, we can add a bit of curb there. Here's what we'll do. We'll match this up. So basically, if you haven't seen this before, Traffic Manager is what I used to ensure the turn arrows. So this is no longer permeable. It is permeable for pedestrian traffic, which we can adjust for in just a second. So there's no left turns happening here, but pedestrians still can go. I'm fine with all of that. Now I just want to make it look a little bit better. Let's actually remove the crosswalks using node controller. So I'm going to get rid of the blue and the orange crosswalks only in visual. Then we will re-add some zebras here. There they are. And we're actually going to cut the lines by all crosswalks. I have a tutorial on this if you really want. If that's what's up. I've got a tutorial on this if you need more specific instruction than what I'm saying, but this is just the general, this is how it works. So because I've cut the lines now, I can do the filler as grass there. So no one is allowed to turn, but pedestrians can still come through. And I want to adjust the... let's see, maybe it's the offset after. Ooh. Let's do this one first. There we go. Let's at least make it so the crossing looks like it's in the right place, even if cars don't use it that well. So 1 and 0.2 on that one. Let's see if 1 and 0.2 makes sense for the offset, just to shift this. 1 and 0.2. Looking much better. And I'm going to add a little curb to the filler. Well, first of all, we're going to reduce this down to 15, because there's a mod called Curb Height Adjuster that I'm using, which makes the curbs 15 centimeters. So that's what that is. And we're going to increase the curb size a little bit just to make it look similar to the stuff next to it. Doesn't have to be exact, but that's pretty good. And I'm going to add a little radius to it. Nice. And now I'd like to actually get rid of those the lines that we have going across. So I'm just going to remove the visual line there. Cool. So that is fine with me. That is enough to stop traffic. We stopped it with Traffic Manager, and now we've shown that with Intersection Marking Tool. So that makes me happy. Phase 1 is now complete. And we should see a lot of... we're going to be pushing more traffic through this node, is the thing about that. Because now this traffic can't go straight across, it can't go left. So now we're forcing it through here. Which is fine, but I'd like to see what effect a roundabout has on this, this density of traffic. I'm going to do a save real quick, because if I don't like the results, I'm going to revert it back to this and get these businesses back. But if the result is good, then the city may end up with kind of a central roundabout right after this minor intersection. Give me just a second to save the game. Before I start actually constructing the roundabout, I want to point out that this intersection is a little close for comfort, in my opinion. That's very, very close to this intersection. A benefit of having a longer runway is traffic will be able to queue for a bit longer, rather than coming right off an intersection. But regardless, I think a roundabout will help here. I've already saved the game, so I'm going to go to our 2-unit wide, I'll call this the roundabout road, 2-lane one-way road with no parking on either side, and I'm probably going to do a 4x4 roundabout, yeah. Most people make these really... I've been accused of making big roundabouts. They're always 4 units by 4 units, which is a 32-meter radius, which is, like, not insanely huge. Like, for a major central area like this, that's not huge. Because I see a lot of people doing, like, 10 by 10 roundabouts without batting an eye, and I'm like, okay, that's quite large. You can... Feel free to not mention Roundabout Builder, as I just don't care to use it. I'm sure it's quick, I'm sure it's easy. I've just never really cared for it personally. I just like building them myself. Ooh, what is it snapping to here? I'm just going to eliminate this road entirely for now. I wonder if it's a... Oh, it must be a road guideline. That's probably what it is. So 4 units, 4 units. Turn off snapping. Let me out. Turn off the grid. Turn off the road guidelines. There it is. 4 units. And then another 4 units to here. Alright, that is wonderful. I'm going to delete these two because they're already 90'd. Oh my god, what a terrible job I've done. I don't know where I went so horribly wrong, but it really went horribly wrong. Now I can see what's going on. So 4 units, turn off snapping. 4 units. 4 units. 4 units. I think I've got it. Yeah. Ooh. Make sure this one is sound. Yep. So that is it. So it's a 2-lane roundabout that we've got going on here. I'm going to brace it before moving on. So I'm just going to take the cardinal directions and add some braces to it, just so it doesn't fall apart when I try to do this. And I'm going to use Network Multi-Tool to fuse these overlapping roads, if it'll let me. Ooh, it might not. Well, regardless, I'm just going to run into the side of it then with each of these roads. So this one, I know it's going to hit where it hits. This one also will hit where it hits. And the other two are already connected. So let's get rid of the bracing roads, because now everything is connected up. And look at that, 4x4. It's a large roundabout, but I wouldn't call it a huge roundabout or anything like that. It's proportionate to the traffic that it's about to be hit with, I think. As long as I've got roundabout settings correct in Traffic Manager, I haven't set one up yet, so let's make sure here. Everything except for the second option in this current version of Traffic Manager is fine. In the settings, I'm going to go to I think it's this one, priority signs, shift, control, click it. It'll add lines where it needs to. It'll add connectors. It'll do all kinds of cool things. The network looks great. I can't think if there's anything else I need. But hopefully we should see a whole bunch of motion here in just a moment. As long as one of the sides clears. I've spent a lot of hours. Those of you that have been watching the channel for a while, I've spent many hours studying these things. And as long as we can get one side to clear completely, the rest should fall in line. Let's hope. Also keep in mind, we haven't added transit to the city yet either. There's no internal bus system to bring people around, or a tram system, or anything like that. So it's still, there's still much to be done yet. I'm going to add this path in and probably add another path over here. I still stand by this is about the right size for what I'm trying to accomplish here. The pedestrian traffic is stopping traffic in the roundabout, which is not entirely ideal. This side is backed up a bit. Oh, it's starting to fix. This side is still quite backed up, but I don't think it'll be backed up forever. I'm also not interested in adding an extra lane to this. I think a 2-lane roundabout should be plenty for most heavy lifting, in my opinion. So I'm trying a slightly different approach. I've added a second roundabout here because I realized I didn't really like the result of taking away the left turn here, taking away the left turn here. I would rather let that be permeable. So they can make lefts there, they can go straight through there, they can also get back on the highway. So that's just a little 3-unit roundabout. And it's fine, like it's hovering from maybe 85 to 87, which is about what it was before. And I think there's 2 really major things that will fix this moving forward, but I'm not going to be able to do them today. I think that's a fine start, I think that's okay, but I'm not looking at it holistically enough. If you focus in on one intersection and obsess over that and ignore larger problems with the system, then you might be barking up the wrong tree. But I think that that's a good start for today. Nothing is locked up, everything's fine, but I think that the numbers will go up dramatically in a future episode, in the very near future. But I love what we got done today. The island, it's not an island, it's a peninsula, is basically done. I don't know what's going to happen with the edges. I might clean them up eventually, but for now, I'm gonna call that good for today. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for watching Benton as it comes to fruition and becomes something bigger than it is now. I'm really excited for the growth, and I'm really glad you've stuck around through all the different types of videos that I've been doing lately. Everyone, feel free to subscribe here, of course. I come out with new videos every week. Feel free to go follow over on Twitch if you'd like. If you want to get the live experience, I'll be there twice a week. That's all I've got for today. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out. I've been Yumble. I'll see you in the next stream or the next video.